Comrade Chairman of the meeting, Comrade Ian Trumpet Bell, Comrade Councillors, Comrade Councillor Caretakers, Comrade Candidates, Comrade Members of Parliament. I have to acknowledge, of course, my senior colleagues, Comrade Fitzjackson, MP for South St. Catherine, and Comrade Philip Palwell, MP for East Kingston and Port Royal. And of course, I want to especially acknowledge your sweet, beautiful, Bononunus candidate, MP in waiting, Comrade Senator Gabriella Morris, in whom I am well pleased. Comrades, I love to see what is happening in the People's National Party. And we see a good example of it here tonight. So we have experience at the table, embodied in Comrade Fitzjackson, Comrade Philip Palwell, and indeed myself. And then we have the generation that is emerging of brilliant, talented, committed young Jamaicans. And we see them stepping forward into the realm of representational politics to secure the future of Jamaica and ensure that this generation and generations to come will be well led under the banner of the People's National Party. We have Comrade Omar Newell running for Central St. Mary, Comrade Danishka Williams in Southwest St. Anne, Comrade Raymond Price in East Central St. Catherine, and of course, Comrade Gabriella Morris right here in Northwest. And comrades, we also have in St. Anne two other young talented Jamaicans putting themselves forward in Dr. Ryan Simpson in Northeast and Dr. Kenneth Russell in Southeast St. Anne. And the slate of candidates for the PNP in St. Anne, with two ladies and two gentlemen, are looking good. And I'm proud of what we've been able to put forward for the people of St. Anne as their option for progress in the next general election. Comrades, I must also at this juncture say how much I owe you my respect, love, and gratitude, the great comrades of Northwest St. Anne, for giving me this rousing welcome and for being here in your numbers as we build the vibe for victory and step forward, because we're marching on to progress, comrades, marching on to progress. Comrades and friends, the People's National Party at this time is united and strong. We are pursuing a common purpose with a common vision. We are united around the principles and philosophy of our party from 1938 to the present day, and the policy of programs and the policy of policies that we have come up with to take Jamaica forward when we become government, whenever Andrew Holness calls it. And we can see that the government is afraid of the people, because the 5 years at the end of which Parliament will dissolve automatically under the Constitution is almost upon us. And yet they are still unable to call it, because they know that if they call it, the day of reckoning will be there upon them, and the government of this country will change, and the People's National Party will come back to lead this country forward into the future. Comrades, we have a government that is late in the day, in their 5th year, well into their 5th year in office, running around trying to fool the people by cutting ribbons and breaking ground in all sorts of projects which are not even ready to be delivered to the people. They are trying to fix roads after 10 years of neglect of the road network. And I've seen for myself tonight, coming here to Brownstown, how badly treated you have been under the current Member of Parliament. When I see those huge craters in Brownstown, this wonderful town, vibrant town with infrastructure, suffering decay under the Jamaica Labour Party. Comrades, the people of Jamaica are tired of the lies and deception. This government are masters of that. All their bots, all their fake accounts in social media, stirring up trouble, spreading lies and misinformation. The people of Jamaica must be wise to it and know that what they have is nothing more to offer. They are a spent force. After 10 years, if they couldn't deliver progress for the people, they don't deserve another term in office. And the people are feeling it. They're feeling it in their pockets as they struggle to make ends meet, struggle to send their children to school, struggle to buy medication if they're sick, and struggle generally in life. And of course, we see it in the education system, where so many of our bright young children are not showing the promise and progress that they should, because the system is not delivering what they need to move forward educationally. We're seeing it in the healthcare system, where if you get sick and you have to go to a public health facility, you're going to face indignities. You're going to face a level of care that is not in keeping with modern Jamaica. Even in St. Anne's Bay Hospital there, you know the fear and trepidation that is felt when you hear you might have to go in there and face what they have on offer there right now. And comrades, the economy under the Jamaica Labour Party is stagnant. They have been unable to develop the country. They have been unable to deliver economic growth at anything other than those mager, anemic levels. And the Prime Minister himself must bear the fullest responsibility for that, because he has set up the government in a way where half of the government falls under his control, under so-called Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. And we have seen where the economy is not growing because he has not the understanding of what it takes to change and restructure this economy and move it forward so that it can deliver wealth and opportunities for the people of the country. And most of all, our country is mired in a growing sense that this system is rotten to the core, and those who call the shots cannot be trusted because they're only in it to enrich themselves and their friends and to take the resources that should be for the upliftment of the people. The farmers who need fertilizer given by the Kingdom of Morocco, only to be told that they have to buy the fertilizer, and so many other scandalous issues. We have a Prime Minister whose Integrity Commission declarations from 2021 forward have not been certified, who is under investigation for the corruption offense of illicit enrichment, and who has now managed to secure a situation in which a man who is clearly not qualified to head the Financial Investigations Division, the senior law enforcement agency when it comes to financial crimes that represents Jamaica in interfacing with the world in the struggle against money laundering, the financing of terrorism and other financial crimes. A man who has no law enforcement experience A man who has never been involved in any kind of law enforcement agency, and a man who has come out publicly before his appointment to say there's nothing wrong in what the Integrity Commission has revealed in their report on the Prime Minister. And that is a man who is now going to run the Financial Investigations Division, which is in charge of completing the investigation of the Prime Minister himself. Comrades, it is a disgrace. It is a complete undermining of proper governance and democratic principles of transparency and accountability. And we will continue to resist it. And I continue to call on all well-thinking Jamaicans to stand up and let their voices be heard, that this cannot go forward. And I say to Dennis Chung himself, who is somebody I've known for many years, step back from it, Dennis. Clear the air and let the Financial Investigations Division be led by somebody who does not have those issues to deal with. Because you are not the right person at this time. You are not fit and proper to lead that agency, given the clear bias that you have showed in relation to the major issue that it has tasked to deal with. And also the fact that your qualifications are not suitable to hold that position. And comrades, on our side, all of our parliamentarians in the Senate and in the House of Representatives and all our spokespersons, even if they're not in Parliament, have signed the Leadership Code of Conduct developed by the Integrity Commission, committing ourselves to always upholding decent standards of accountability and transparency in how we deal with the people's affairs and the people's resources. Not one JLP has signed the Leadership Code of Conduct. This is why we will establish, when we form government, a broad-based body to pursue a higher level of ethics and good values and attitudes in our land, to turn us away from the descent into the abyss of corruption and the abyss of crime and the abyss of negativity. That is where we are heading now, and turn the country around to more upliftment, to a better way of life, a better way of behavior, and a behavior that the people can say is based on love and the principles of honesty and integrity in the way we deal with each other and we deal with our nation. And it's because we are going to establish those principles at the core of our government that Jamaica will be able to make progress when we form government. And we have the plans and programs to change what the people are feeling and seeing now, and build a better Jamaica for all. We have our plans for these problems in the education system. We have plans to reduce the cost to parents of sending children to school, because we will provide a nutritious meal every day, one hot meal a day in every school, primary and secondary school, for all needy children, because we know, based on the data, that 55%, more than half of Jamaicans are suffering from food insecurity, moderate to severe food insecurity, meaning that they're not eating either enough or the types of food that they need to be healthy. And our children must have that assurance that if they go to school, they will get a good hot meal and they can learn on a full stomach instead of trying to learn on a hungry belly. And we have the right program to provide a subsidy for parents who need help in the cost of sending their children to school in terms of transportation in rural Jamaica, because we know that the cost of the bus and the taxi can be very onerous for some parents. And so we are going to introduce a ride program starting with 20,000 families. Right now it's at 7,500. And we're going to step it up. And as the economy improves, we will expand that benefit further, because we want to eliminate any reason why any child should have to be absent from school due to any financial considerations. And comrades, we have the First in Family program, because we know that lack of education is the surest reason why poverty continues from one generation to the next. So if you are the first person in your family to get qualified and accepted at a university or college under the PNP government, you will get a full scholarship and you will be able to attend without the pressures of finance on your head. And we know that you will be able to uplift your siblings and the rest of your family when you have the benefit of that scholarship that the PNP will deliver to the first in family. Because we want to eliminate intergenerational poverty in this country. And when it comes to housing, comrades, we have a very powerful set of policies to introduce affordable housing in a massive scale in the country, repurposing the National Housing Trust to take it back to the vision and the mission for which it was established by Michael Joshua Manley in the 1970s, to be the vehicle to provide housing to the people of this country. And it has lost its way, and we are going to ensure that that becomes its mission again. And we have a plan to build 50,000 affordable houses in our first 5 years in office. And we have identified public lands not suitable for agriculture that we will make available to the National Housing Commission for them to build affordable housing on. And we are not going to include the value of the land in the price of the house, so the people will get a more affordable price still. And we have the special deposit scheme of $1 billion a year from within the National Housing Trust for first-time home buyers, as long as they are in the housing trust for at least 2 years through in housing trust. Any young person who is buying a home for the first time up to the age of 35 will qualify for a deposit grant to cover the cost of the deposit so they can step forward into ownership. $500,000 per purchaser. And if you can't get a mortgage because you can't prove income, because you're a self-employed individual, you're hustling, or you're a farmer, or you're employed to somebody but they are not operating a business at a scale that generates a formal pay slip, so you can't prove your income to qualify for a mortgage, we will allow you to come into possession of the house as a tenant. And after the first 6 months or so, as long as you've been making your monthly payments, we will treat that as sufficient proof of income to qualify you for the mortgage, and you'll be able to borrow that loan and become an owner instead of a tenant. And comrades, we promise a new deal for the farmers of this country. Dr. Dayton Campbell will be a wonderful Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Rural Development. We will establish the Agricultural Development Fund, allocating a portion of the taxes on imported foods to provide support for our local farmers to drive production, providing them with financing through the People's Cooperative Banks, providing them with other inputs, farm road maintenance, storage facilities, and so on. Because Jamaica must establish agriculture as a powerful part of our economy, because we are so blessed with some of the best crops in the world, yet we are seeing our farmers struggling under this government. So comrades, when we talk about the tourism industry, we see its importance, of course, and we want to encourage stronger linkages with the local economy. Because although we hear the big numbers of how much sales and income is being earned by the hotel sector, the retention in the local economy is a small fraction of that. And we have to grow it so that our people can benefit from tourism. And of course, when it comes to the beach issue, we have been advocating for the Jamaican people to have access to the beautiful beaches of this country. And I said all of a sudden the government start talking about it because we start pressure the issue. But we know what is required, and we intend to deliver for the people, whether by legislation or whatever means necessary within the law, because we see the importance of ensuring that every parish should have beaches, that our proper nice beaches that our people have access to. So comrades, these are some of the things that we are committed to. And we have more ideas too. But until Andrew call it, him now going to hear it. Because we know how them stay. And them all rip off our thing and call it their own. And we're not into that. But you can listen out. Because the PNP has a mandate. We are seeking a mandate from the people, and we want to do so on the basis not only of the failures and inadequacies and other failings of this government, but because of the promise that we are bringing to the people, our powerful set of policies and programs that will uplift Jamaica and take Jamaica forward in a real way, dealing with the very real issues facing the people. And I'm not going to go through all of it, because we have a lot to say on every single portfolio, healthcare included, but every portfolio. But there will be time for that as we move forward. But comrades, in order for us to be able to deliver on this change that the people of Jamaica need, it requires all of you to put your shoulders to the wheel, to resolve any little issues that may exist among us, because we have to see the higher cause that we're all pursuing. And that higher cause is to ensure that Northwest St. Anne is returned to the fold of the People's National Party after the next election. And that comrade Senator Gabriella Morris is beside me, walking up Duke Street to be part of the government of Jamaica, led by Marky G. And comrades, you are the ones who are relying on to make that happen. And I ask you, are you ready to make it happen? Are you ready for Gabby? Are you ready for Marky G? Comrades, you look like you're ready. Comrades, you sound like you're ready. Comrades, you feel like you're ready. The word is love, comrades. God bless you all. One love.